The facts would show that they took my property, my homestead 20-year mixed-use property, without a hearing for $10, and they sold it for $3.5 million. And yet, when there's civil unrest and the youth of our community goes over to affluent areas, Miami Beach, South Beach, Cocoa Plum, Coral Gables, Aventura, you name it, and demonstrate their frustration, they all say, why are those blacks looting and stealing? Because the system loots and steals from their mothers, from their forefathers, for years and years and years, right here in Miami-Dade County, Florida. Back during Arthur McDuffie, the riot, when the whole community exploded because of those Metro-Dade police officers who beat that man to death. There's a bowling point. Try not to get it twisted. Arthur McDuffie's murder was just the match that lit the fuse. The overall problem behind that is frustration out of unemployment, housing, racism in every facet, which was compounded by police brutality. A walk of life in Miami-Dade County for Afro-American male and female. Joblessness, it was just crushing on a hurt people. And that murder of Arthur McDuffie will go down in the history books of Florida as being one of the most brutal taking of human life by police department. 5 years after McDuffie's riot, I decided to become a City of Miami police officer, hoping to make a difference and bringing our community together, restoring law and order. And the youth of today and folks that are migrating into our society are not aware of the history of white supremacy and racism in our courts today, in our government, in every facet of American history. Here in Miami-Dade County, Florida, it's epic. It's crazy epic. It's like white supremacists are not of the same human race. No heart, no conscience, no empathy, no mercy. If you look at what Stuart R. Cowell and Ronald R. Rodriguez, who claimed to be an attorney, and I really blame the Florida bar for even allowing this individual to practice law. He's truly the worst of the worst. He has no moral, no integrity. He lies as a default. The truth has no bearings to him. And yet he claims he converted to Judaism. How is that even possible? He teamed up with this rich fella who's very juiced in to Miami-Dade County Sheriff's Office. He's juiced in to multiple judges, and the laws go right out the window when it's time to protect your property rights and your interests. But when the state attorney is trying to put you in jail for a crime you may or may have not committed, oh man, every facet of the law is looked at. Every count 1, count 2, count 3, count 4. He had this, he had a gun, he had occupied dwelling. All these factors are brought into bear when the state attorney is trying to lock you up. But when you go to civil court, there are vultures trying to take your constitutionally protected property to satisfy a void judgment. The judgment that they executed is a 29-count convicted felon, unlicensed contractor judgment, who did work on Mr. Wilson's building without pulling any permits. $275,000 worth of hurricane damage work. No permits pulled. Miami-Dade came out and condemned a whole building for work without permit. They used that same judgment that this filed a lawsuit for breach of contract when he knew he was not a licensed contractor. Defrauded the court is what he did to take Mr. Wilson's homestead property. Ain't that amazing? Who could do such a thing? Could pull such a caper off? It takes a judge willing to violate his oath of office. It takes a corrupt attorney to step in, push that white envelope, and then 3rd District Court of Appeals, they don't even look at briefs that are filed by pro se litigants or people of color. I'm told by certain sources. They rubber stamp, it's called PCA, per curiam firm, the trial court's decision, regardless of what it is, and you lose your property, and you become homeless without a hearing. I'm Keith Wilson. This matter has to be resolved.